when I tried to ask what was going on, they asked me to stand in a certain area. So literally, I'm just, confused as to why it's taking me so long to get on base, because I'm really just trying to go ahead and go to work. And after about 30 minutes passed, I decided that, I see all these extra cops coming up. There's more and more cops showing up. So I decided to take action into my own hands, and I put it on Facebook. I tagged my mother and my father, and I let them know. I said, hey, I'm surrounded by cops right now, both city and military. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I want to let you guys know that if anything happens, I'm not resisting. And basically letting them know that I was being cooperative, because these days you can't really trust the cops, just point blank. So I didn't know what was going to happen next. So I asked the cop, I said, am I being detained? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, for what? And he said, we'll let you know here shortly, which is illegal to be detained without even letting us know what's going on. So they still didn't give me a charge for why I was being detained. They come back several minutes later and tell me that I have an open warrant in Dunwoody, Georgia for assault and battery, as they're putting the cuffs on and somebody's reading me my rights. So instead of me overreacting, I stayed calm, because I'm 6'3", I'm 270 pounds. I didn't want to give them a reason to slam me or put their hands on me, aside from putting the cuffs on me. And I kind of just chuckled, and I was like, I've never been arrested for this a day in my life. So it was all a shock to me.
And then what happened?
Well, they escorted me. Dobbins Air Force Base did not have a official jail cell. So they took me to their headquarters and put me in a room for over an hour and a half. So I'm, questioning them about this charge, and they know little to nothing about how this charge came about. The cop told me also earlier that I fit the description, and that was as vague as he was. I fit the description. I'm like, the description of what? He didn't follow up on that. They never said what I fit the description of. All they told me eventually was about the case that I had for assault and battery, which I've never been arrested for in my life.
Are you still in shackles?
Not yet. At this point, I'm just in handcuffs. So they wait for Dunwoody police to show up, and the Dunwoody cop shows up. And he has all of my charges on paperwork. On his paperwork. So I just so happened to look over my shoulder to look down at the paperwork, and I see that there's no aggravated assault and battery on there. It's only traffic tickets that I had from a couple of years ago that needed to be paid. And I asked about the assault and battery charge, and I said, well, what happened to it? And they simply said, oh, well, I guess not. And they left it at that. So the Dunwoody cop then decides to take it a step further. As they're swapping out handcuffs, he asked me to see my legs. So I'm wondering why he wants to see my legs. He puts shackles on my legs to escort me from the military base to DeKalb County Prison. And before I walk out the door, I looked at the cop who was in charge, which was a black man at the time, and I said, really, bro? I said, 2016, and y'all still allowing us to get shackled? And the guy put his head down, and he didn't really have a response. He just put his head down and shook his head, and they escorted me to jail.